In the summer of 1968, I acquired my first film camera, an 8mm Bolex. I shot my first footage in Morven in Scotland, at Loch Donaghey. I had trekked up there with Michael to go fishing, but when we got there, he fished while I tentatively worked the camera. These images are nondescript, but I am struck that my very first efforts should have been preoccupied with the elements of light, and those vessels of light, water and clouds. Nor are the dust particles, blots and scratches here necessarily imperfections, but instead a signature of a kind. That autumn I could not say that revolution was in the air, but unrest was in the mind. I shared a flat with Martin and Peter. We watched television. The views of Herbert Marcuse were aired. The matriculation ceremony for new undergraduates took place as usual in the Sheldonian. The area outside was transformed into an impromptu speaker's corner. Several students with a gift for oratory and for theatrics took to the soapbox. It all took place as if by magic. TV cameras arrived as if by magic. Some papers got burnt. Occupy got written on the Clarendon building. An agitprop theatre group made an appearance. There was even a scuffle. None of this interrupted the arguing and the speech-making. Standing above the crowd of new undergraduates in their finery is the Earl of Pembroke, whose statue still remains long after Speaker's Corner had broken up. In April of 1968, the classical scholar and Member of Parliament Enoch Powell had made a speech about immigration, expressing his foreboding for the future by quoting the Roman poet Virgil. When at the end of the year he was booked to speak at the town hall, a protest march was organised and an attempt made to break into the hall. It was a damp day and the police prevented any attempt to stop Powell speaking. I was told cameras would be smashed, something which had not occurred to me, so I did not film the scuffles that took place. I was a student now rather than an undergraduate. Despite this, I retreated to my room, as self-absorbed and directionless as Raskolnikov in Crime and Punishment. The world felt full of questions to which I had no clear answers. All I could think to do was to find a subject for my camera and a suitable radical style of using it. The results both fascinated me but also repelled me as well. I seemed to be stuck between two clashing rocks. How should I act in the world, and how should I appear to myself and thus to others? It was a distasteful choice between Raskolnikov and Narcissus. Dimly I saw a way out of this dark wood. How do you portray the world in painting and on film? This postcard of Eugene Delacroix's self-portrait stood on the mantelpiece, I imagine as a role model. Above it was a poster for Robert Bresson's Au hasard Balthazar, a film that has obsessed me ever since I first saw it in 1966. Then, in the winter of 1968-69, I met Lizzie, which was like meeting the goddess Aphrodite. When I blagged about making a film on 16mm and asked her to do a screen test, she said yes. These are the results. They suggest nervousness as much on my part as hers. I think I was thinking of Anna Karina's eruption onto the big screen in Jean-Luc Godard's Le Petit Soldat, but I was less absorbed by the idea of truth 24 times a second, as Godard told it, as by the pleasure of looking. She managed to be joyful and pensive by turns. It was easy to feel that she revealed her soul to the camera. There is something in us that can be without us and will be after us. Even these decayed images prove that something exists of her beyond the transitory, beyond ephemeral encounter. I may have thought I was filming her unadorned, on the grounds that Aphrodite needed no adornment, but she knew better than me that makeup was a natural part of the role. As I filmed, an element of aimless pleasure was present, but such pleasure can lose its luster. She turned and looked powerfully at the camera. This is truth, 24 times a second or not. And then she skipped away and out of the range of my camera. Enter Maggie into my life, reading a poem. That was a sufficient reason to love her, but that sufficiency was overtopped by the way she entranced me. She is surrounded here by light in the clouds, by the lamplight on her face, by the glow of a match, and then by the sun glittering on the sound of Mal, darkening to illuminate a different kind of intensity. Early in 1970 we drove to Wales. Where England ends and Wales begins, the ruins of Tintern Abbey seduce us still. I knew no rule book for filming buildings, but wanted my crude little camera to pick out the quiet sky beyond the carefully erected stones, to honour the tracing of the windows and the sculpting of the space. Hence this restless camera, not aimless but seeking some visual truth, not an objective portrayal but a contradiction, making virtue of a contrary motion. Unconsciously, with no clear intention in mind, to my astounding surprise after the lapse of years, I find captured in these images the breath of life. From Tintern we bounded forth into the wild Wales of Powys. As we came among the hills patched with snow, and the bare trees burst into and out of frame, the camera raced along. I seemed to be flying. In this damp interval in our lives, we found ourselves walking up the hill of Drigan Fawr, me and the two fair damsels, Margaret and Janet. Above us was the airy sky, even a fitful sun, but the main element was water, running in runnels and streams, squelching underfoot among the tussocks of grass. I could see the summit of Drigan from far off. Reaching it took an age. In the shelter of the beehive cairn that marked it, we rested. It puzzled me then, and perplexes me still, how to compose this journey on film. The film camera is not made for still photographs, but must be still moving, a chain of rushing perceptions that annihilates what the eye sees, yet makes the eyes anew. This journey is therefore an art composed of blurs, of bounds, of traces. Are we reaching the top? And yet finally we do so, and can see our journey as a whole. Oxford made me, as I think. This glass of learning, filled with light, was what I drained as my drink. A glass of dreams, all sparkling bright, that posed a choice, sink or swim. So did it make me, am I right? If you judge that by my fame, then the only word is no. Oxford has a gleaming name, yet often I'd not find it so. The dreams that came were fugitive, less far out, right on, and oh wow, more pressing me with who, why, how. Looking back over life well lived, for all I toiled, for all I strived, I struggled like a little child. My fears almost pushed me to tears. I had a sense of having failed. I'm being dim since what I found was friendship, kindness, truth profound. And at this place I found me a donna, whom now they'd rightly call a stunner. Whoever loved her was a winner. In those bright days my love was deep. Oxford made me. How could I weep? Oxford made me, and Oxford spurred pursuit of image as much as word. Old stones, old spires gave me the cue. Use image to make it new. If Oxford taught me classic letters, I taught myself that image matters. It stayed unanswered, which one's better? My time at Oxford University had its moments of black and white, of soaring and coming to earth, but it ended in colour. I had soaked the film in water, and as the emulsion dried, it cracked, it peeled, it crazed. Even if this was a facile way to make closed-eye abstract visions, I thought the effect was arresting. It was like firing a ceramic pot. You knew what you were putting into the kiln, but what would emerge? Making films was simply alchemy.